All right. Let me know if we're live. Everything seems to be going pretty well. All right, we're live. Pretty sure we are. There we are. Cool. What's up, everybody? Let's see. Let's let everybody kind of get in here today. Um, while I'm thinking about this, be sure to go vote on the community tab. I'm gonna post, or I'm gonna pin it up top. Um, Vote on the community tab. We got the poll up right now, rolling. So gonna have a lot of fun with that one right there. Let's see. Good, good. Everything's good. Everything is awesome. Nice. All right. So let's let everybody kind of file on in here. You know, be sure to hit the like button. Let's get likes as much as we can here. Um, but what y'all think? What y'all think of the race? Let me know down there. I see Pocono has 6 turns. All right, so that's we're already starting out pretty good. Average, aggressive goes around from Take Slapper. Tie P18. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Wanting Kyle Busch to win. Yeah, I think a lot of people did from what it looked like on Twitter. Uh, I recently made Xfinity and truck points with Winston. If you're interested, I keep track of that. I just don't post it every week. It was a good debut for Ty. Denny drove like a tool. Yeah, there's gonna be some opinions on this one. So in a minute, I think what we're gonna do is look through the finishing order, go through what happened during the race, talk about the main talking points, all that good jazz, and we'll get through. We have over 100 people watching, only 23 likes. Be sure to click that like button. Let's get as many as we can here. Um, I know I went early or live early. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, nice. Eddie in the chat was at the race today. Can't say Chastain didn't have it coming. Payback's a bitch. Where's Denny delivers at? Dennis the Menace. That one's an old one. Denny's daughter was crying because he was getting booed. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I expect Danny to get booed. I don't think they're booing the kid though, so at least I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Elliot's hot summer continues. What are you talking about? He says worst finish in 5 races. How is he ever going to recover from a third? That was a pretty good run for him. Lost all respect. We'll go through the running order. Let's get more likes on there. Let's see if we can get up to about 200 live watching. We'll go right through the running order or finishing order that is. I have it on a different page. We can probably just go through it right now. We got a lot of people in there. And while I'm thinking about it, let's look at what the poll is doing right now in the community tab. I asked you guys what you think of the 2022 M&M's Fan Appreciation 400. 13 good, 60 or 13 great, 60 good, 21 average, 3 below average, 4 bad, and wow, 10 minutes we have almost 1,000 votes. And I see yes, let's get some McDowell supremacy in the chat, baby. Let's go. All right. Kind of going through the finishing order here today, though. Let's run through it. If I mess up or anything, just spam me in the chat. So, winning the race, his third of the season, 49th of his career, tying him with Tony Stewart, 7th of Pocono, meaning he is the winningest driver at Pocono. We have Denny Hamlin getting the win. Kyle Busch comes up second. Like I said, Chase Elliott with his worst finish in 5 races in third. I don't know how he'll recover to his mid-season form of first and second every week. Then you got Tyler Reddick in fourth. And rounding out the top 5, Daniel Suarez, which was Eric's pick in the podcast, just letting everyone know that. In sixth, we have Christopher Bell. Seventh, Kyle Larson. Eighth, McDowell. In ninth, Martin Truex Jr. And Bubba Wallace gets another top 10. In 11th, we have Eric Jones. 12th, Austin Dillon. 13th, Alex Bowman. 14th, William Byron. And rounding out the top 15 is Eric Almirola. 16th, we have Brad Keselowski, Chase Briscoe in 17th, Ty Gibbs 18th. So Ty Gibbs in his debut finishes the top half of the field. We'll talk about him more later on. 19th, Cole Custer. 20th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 21st, Corey LaJoy. 22nd, Joey Logano. Not much really to hear from him today. 23rd, Justin Haley. 24th, Ty Dillon. 25th, Harrison Burton. 26th, Noah Gragson. 27th, Todd Gilliland. Cody Ware comes home 28th. And Kevin Harvick rounds out those on the lead lap, finishing 29th. A lap down in 30th is J.J. Yaley. Chris Buescher minus 2 laps in 31st, so 2 is in 32nd with B.J. McLeod. And Austin Cindric was the lowest finishing running car at the end, finishing 6 laps down in 34th. Out of the race was Ross Chastain in 34th, or did I say 34th? Cindric was 33rd, Chastain 34th, and Ryan Blaney 35th. Josh Bilicki finishing last in 36th. We have over 200 watching, not even 100 likes. Let's get it up to the triple digits of likes while we go through the race. So, starting with the big story. I think the big story to really talk about going into this race is the fact that Kurt Busch, in his qualifying lap, came out of turn 3, or many are calling it 5 or 6, or just came out of the last turn and got up into the wall, hit it like in the back of his car, and then immediately snapped it back and hit on the front of his car. Very similar to what took out actually Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2016. So I'm really hoping that Kurt's all right with that. You got to think, I mean, driver with that age compared to a lot of other drivers who have had similar injuries, it's probably going to hurt a lot longer. It's probably going to last a lot longer, I would think, especially since Kurt's probably been in a lot more accidents than other drivers in a similar situation. But Ty Gibbs comes in, runs around 30th most of the day. Honestly, he was, I think they even told him, lay off on the start, run alone, get used to the car. It was his first time ever in a next gen car and a cup car in general. But he definitely got better as the day went on, and I was really impressed that he was racing towards the end. He was running 15th on the restart. He retained his position, which was really impressive to see. And then after retaining his position, he raced, I mean, looking at the finishing order here, he raced guys like William Byron, Eric Almirola, Brad Keselowski, and Chase Briscoe. Guys who are established, all guys, when I look down this list, who are either former champions or playoff caliber or playoff contenders this year. And when you look at the guys he finished ahead of, I made a point of this on Twitter. He finished ahead of Cole Custer in 19th. He finished ahead of Joey Logano today. He finished ahead of Noah Gragson. He finished ahead of, he finished ahead of a good amount of cars today that I would think would beat him in his opening start. But kind of looking through the race itself, what I was really seeing was that there were a lot of drivers who at the stage ends were getting stage points. I pointed out that, looking through the finishing of each stage, Kevin Harvick got 6 stage points, which will probably help him, seeing what happened to him on the Ross Chastain incident with Denny Hamlin, which we will definitely get into that. But then Ryan Blaney, he got 13 stage points, whereas Martin Truex Jr. only got 2. Luckily for Truex, got a better finish, but Truex is not inspiring by any means. Looking through a little bit more of it, Blaney Blaney's car was not driving well, but he ran well today, which was impressive to see. And I think what it really shows is that this team has a lot of fortitude to push through a lot of adversity. It's just a matter of, getting the cars up to snuff. Blaney is a top 5 driver this year. He made a mistake, but even with that, I still think he needs to make the playoffs. And trust me, I'll look into the chat a little bit, see what more we got here. I'm just going over a few more things to talk about. The big incident that we should all talk about, I think, is 18 to go. Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin go into turn 1 and race hard. Hamlin does not cut him any slack, which I think is completely warranted. And Denny basically, just doesn't give him any slack. Chastain ends up hitting the wall. I will say the smartest move on that entire sequence right there was Kyle Busch slowing up. If you watch the replay, as soon as they start seeing it go down, he starts seeing it happen. Kyle Busch backs off from the top 2. He knows what's going to happen. He probably remembers a bit of Chase Briscoe and Tyler Reddick earlier. So that was the smartest move there. It wasn't like a direct hit by any means. It's just he didn't cut him slack, and Chastain didn't save it. Unfortunately, Kevin Harvick got taken out in that. I was really thinking Harvick was going to make a big dent into the distance between he and Martin Truex Jr. today, and especially with Ryan Blaney going out too. But ultimately, like most of Kevin Harvick's season, it was a lot of potential, ending with, for the most part, uh, just not a good finish. So I'm gonna ask you right now, uh, was Denny's revenge warranted? I'm knowing where we're gonna land on this. I'd just like to see how lopsided it would be. So let me take a moment to put this in right now. I'll just I'll just put a yes or no. All right, poll going up now. And thank you. We have almost 300 watching right now, so really cool to see. I'm seeing in the chat, 48 Waffles says it was fair in your opinion. 48 NASCAR fan says it was karma. James Johnson says Hamlin was due to payback. Uh, Daniel Shell says that it's past time Denny wins a championship over 2022. This could be the year. I mean, he is tied with Chase Elliott for most wins in the series right now, uh, but he's still not even top 16 in points. Um, I mean, Denny for the most part said it was revenge. I know some people are saying it's not revenge, uh, but if Denny's saying it was, I'd say it was. Um, I will say I wasn't too crazy. I mean, it was Denny didn't do anything that wrong. I think Ross could have let up. I know it's going for the win, but I don't think he necessarily wrecked him. They got into each other. Yeah, that's going for the win, but I don't think it's something too egregious personally. Um, I think I'll ask you guys. I'm looking at the chat right now. We'll go to 200 votes and see what we got as we have 300 watching. I'm going to ask you the next question for a poll is are Denny and Ross even? Yes, no, or maybe, I guess. I'll put a yes or no on that one. But I mean, we're pretty lopsided on here. 84% of you are saying yes to the 16% saying no for Denny's warranted revenge. I think we have a pretty clear consensus over what's going on. Um, you can tell what he implied. If we're going to play stupid semantic games, then yes, by technicality, he didn't say it was revenge, but he didn't cut him any slack. This is, I mean, it is pretty. I would say it's pretty uh, dumb to think that Denny wasn't doing that in a way to just sort of be like, this is what you get for how you've basically treated me the last bit. Um, So let's look and see are they even. I want to see what you guys think on that one because we got I think 84-16. Um, so let's see what we got here. Are Denny and Ross even? Because Ross, from what it seemed like, didn't seem like they were. And again, it wasn't as egregious. But we're gonna ask again. Thank you to all 332 of you watching. Um, That's just, it wasn't egregious by any means. It wasn't like he got him and fishtailed him in front of the field. It wasn't like he bumper hooked him. It wasn't like he sent him into the turn two wall the next way around. Um, so I saw something really cool. Awesome, that's awesome. Um, for those of you that are in a certain chat with me, you'll know what I'm talking about. But let's see what we got here. So far, we've got 127 votes. Are Denny and Ross even? We got 39% saying yes, 61 saying no. Now, I want to see some of the reasoning in the chat here. I see Lord underscore Foxy 13 saying not even close. Team Penske fan saying no. Ross is, let's see. A lot of you are saying not even close. I'm wondering for those of you who say, oh, wow. Daniel Shell in the chat says Elliott has a 100-point lead over Chastain for the regular season title. I think it just right there should tell you that it is must win for anybody who doesn't have a win right now, even if you're in the top 5 in points. Yeah, wonderful on that. But yeah, I mean, it's looking from what we have right now that, like, you guys think that they're not even. Um, I see Raging Thunder says 2-1 on Ross incidents with Hamlin. I'm assuming that means that I don't know which way you're going on that one. West Virginia, I like that one. Says that you're still. Oh, where does it go? He says I'm still so sad for Harvick. I agree. Harvick was an innocent bystander. Got himself to have a top five, maybe even top three car today, and nothing to show for it. A 29th place finish. Looking through the looking through the stages, he only got 6 stage points out of it. So it's basically like running 23rd if you didn't get stage points out of it. A pretty pedestrian day for Kevin Harvick again. Did anyone pick Hamlin or Bush to win on the weekly podcast? Um, Chat picked Chase. I believe the chat is the highest pick of that one, and they made up some points this week on Eric. I can tell you that. I do think Ross will probably get some payback at some point. If I think if Hamlin does one more, because I think, as much as Ross said that, basically in the interview paid lip service that he wasn't. Um, I think that he's going to get pretty sick of it pretty quick. Slush Crasher, the NWP stream is the NASCAR Weekly podcast, and that's just a stream uh, that me, Darian, aka Black Flags Matter, Danny B Talks, and Eric Estepp do together. Um, this week it's on Darian's channel, BFM, so be sure to watch that one. But it's just something that we do really fun. Audio's low, really? Doesn't seem like it. I'm hitting the yellow. I'll pop it up a little bit, but yeah, I mean I'll put it up to I'll put it up as much as I can, but it looks fine. I'm the only one on here, so it should be set for at least one. Oh baby, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think this is the nail in the coffin for Harvick making the playoffs? No, I don't think so. Personally, I think Harvick has enough speed that he can get his way into a win. I don't know if he can for sure, but he has the opportunity. He'll have opportunities, I think. I don't think this is the end of it for him whatsoever. Um, yeah, so this, by the way, NASCAR Weekly Podcast this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Black Flags Matters channel. Should be a really fun one to watch. Um, Yeah, thank you guys by the way in the chat for letting people know where it's at and whatnot. It's gonna be a fun one this week. We got a lot to talk about. How would you grade Ty Gibbs' debut spin UFO? Unfortunately, I didn't get the UFO up, but here you go. UFO is spinning, almost out of my hand. What race is next week? The Indy Road Course, which I wouldn't be surprised if it's the last Indy Road Course Cup has, at least for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring the Brickyard back next year. But we can talk about that this week on the podcast. It should be pretty fun to look at. Let's see. Not. Oh, no, never mind. You retracted it. Spin and win for Denny, too. Yeah, I mean, the first time he did that was 2006. He got a W in his rookie year. So, pretty good, you know, precedent that he has there. Let's see. That Gabe guy, Elliott has the ball rolling into a road course. Yeah, I mean Elliott right now is on one, really good. He has 2 seconds, 2/3. By the way, I'm gonna end the poll. We got 59% saying that they're even or not. No, 60% saying they're not even. 40% saying they're even. So I'm gonna end that right now. But yeah, Elliott going into a road course has 2 seconds, 2 wins, and now a third place finish. He has 5 straight top fives, which is pretty incredible to look at. And he's got it good, got it rolling really good heading into the right time of the year. Um, let's see what else we got. Denny's going to be like 16th in points. Let's see, 5 straight podiums for Chase. He's like Max Verstappen. I guess so. I haven't kept up on F1 as well as I probably should have. I've been keeping up more on IndyCar. Yes, I did see Jimmy Johnson, former NASCAR champion, 7-time champion, got his first career top five in IndyCar, and all those trolls getting all pissed off that people were happy with him just running well, and that he can't finish are kind of eating a little crow now. Um, I'll ask you this one because this is going to be interesting to see a bit of the difference between old school and new school. Is Denny Hamlin a title contender? Now I know that I have a little more nuance in my post race poll, but you know what? I'm not going to go too nuts with these ones. I'm not going to add a million different options because I like just seeing clear, concise data with it pretty quick. So, is Denny Hamlin a title contender? Yes or no? I'm personally going to say if they can keep the speed up, yes. But if they don't have the luck, if they don't keep the consistency, no. I think this is going to be a relatively even poll here. By the way, it's still over 300 watching. Thank you very much. Be sure to click that like button. I want to get 133 likes. Let's get that above like 150 as quick as we can. Napa Racing Fan 927. You're saying he's your championship favorite? Wow. I see Daniel Shell. Final four for you is Hamlin, Elliott, Kyle Busch, Logano. So a lot of people very bullish on Denny Hamlin right now. I don't know if I can say long term that I would give it to him just because of the consistency, but the speed is there, but the consistency is not. Oh baby, thank you for another five. Says if Blaney finishes the regular season in second in points but fails to make the playoffs, is that a call for NASCAR to make changes to the chase? I think yes. I think that if you are somebody who has put a consistent enough season to do that well, you deserve a chance at the title, especially over somebody who's been running 20th for a lot of the year, like a lot of these winners have. I know that one of the points against it, I think one of the straw mans against it is like, well, if you can't win a race in the first 26, you don't deserve to be in. And I'm like, yeah, because that's totally wasn't what Tony Stewart did in 2011, which a lot of people call one of the greatest championship pushes ever in NASCAR history. Um, Danny Alex, Ty Gibbs did better than Custer, and as well as Logano. Yes, yeah. Napa Racing Fan 927. This is a good counterpoint. You don't have to be very consistent in this format. You just have to win. That is a good point. So Denny has 3 wins this year. Um, so he can win, but there's no one who can. I think you have to show you can consistently win to be a favorite for it. I still think right now, Chase Elliott is the clear and concise favorite for the championship. I don't think he's that. Um, I don't think he's that far ahead of too many people, but he's definitely putting himself out there as like, hey, if you're gonna have to win the championship, you will have to go through Elliott. But I don't think it's as clear cut as too many people think. Yeah, that's the thing. First, last says Elliott has the best of both worlds, though. He's consistent, he can win, and when you're consistent, wins come a lot more often, I've noticed. Danny Alex says, yeah, Penske was horrible today. I'm looking at the finishing order. I mean, yes, Ryan Blaney ran really well today, but when you look at the way that Team Penske overall ran, and if, I'm going to include Harrison Burton on this one, the highest finisher of the Team Penske drivers was Joey Logano in 22nd. After that, you go to 25th for Harrison Burton, and then you go to 33rd for Austin Cindric, who just didn't have much pretty much all day. And then Ryan Blaney, 35th. I mean, you're looking at the guys that outran Penske today. Corey LaJoie, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Cole Custer, Ty Gibbs. These are guys that at least one of the Penske drivers should beat. I don't care if 2 of them got into a wreck or 3 or whatever. I don't care what the bad luck was. If you're a Team Penske driver, if you're Joey Logano, you should finish ahead of any of those guys I listed. No disrespect to Ty Gibbs. I really like Ty Gibbs. I know I'm against the grain on that one. But if you are somebody in a team of that caliber, it's pretty pathetic to run that bad overall as a team today. Kyle Larson championship hangover. I mean, he still finished 7th. It's not like he's had a horrible, horrible season. He's just not been the way he was last year. It's really looking like the way he was in his peak Ganassi years. I wouldn't count him out by any means going into the playoffs, personally. So I asked you the question. We got 205 votes here. Is Denny Hamlin a title contender? 60% said yes. 40% of you said no. Um, so I think we got a little bit of a gauge on what you guys think there. We had over, we're just under it, but we had over 350 watching. Be sure to get that like button, another press if you haven't already. I love how it says 60% yes, 39% no. Then we got this 1% left in the ether. Um, yeah, it's like Danny Alex is saying. It's not a hangover. It's typical of many drivers. This is, a 10-win season. It's always going to look like a hangover the next season if you didn't, if you don't replicate that, or if you don't do something to that caliber. Um, yeah, Irvin, I agree. I think it's a 1% error. I just like always making the joke because everyone says it's like, oh, well, why it doesn't add up to 100. Looking at some of the other finishers, an impressive run by Reddick, getting up to fourth, basically manhandling that car all day. That was pretty cool to see that shot off the corner where he's just like yawing it out every time. Like he was giving it his all. You can tell Reddick at least has not given up on RCR, even if he's leaving already. Looking at some of the other ones, Daniel Suarez with the top five, great deal there. Um, and then yeah, I gotta keep bringing it up. It's the running joke on this channel, even though it's not much of a joke because he's pretty damn good. Michael McDowell with an eighth place finish and competing with a top five. I mean, he was competing for a top five. Um, so I got to say it's you know really impressive to see. I want to check the numbers here, but I want to say that's his eighth top 10. Yes, it is his eighth top 10 of the season. Um, Impressive showing so far this year by Michael McDowell on any metric you look at. I see a comment here saying, "Well, Iceberg, you predicted that Larson was not going to be too hot this season, like in 2021." Yeah, I don't think anyone being realistic thought that Kyle Larson was going to have 10 wins or even 8 wins. I think 6 was like the max I thought he could do this year just because a 10-win season is not replicable. I mean, the last one that we saw before Kyle Larson was Jimmy Johnson in 2007, and he only did that once in his career, getting double digit wins in a season. And Jimmy Johnson, by a lot of people's count, is at least, at the very least, one of the top five greatest drivers in NASCAR history. And at the moment, I don't know where Kyle Larson will rank up with those guys, but I don't think Kyle Larson's as good as Jimmy Johnson personally. I think he has more raw talent, but I think Jimmy Johnson's a better rounded driver. And if Johnson could only do that once, I don't see Larson doing that multiple times. Jeff Gordon, yes, had 3 straight years with 10 plus wins. He also had Ray Evernham with him, too. So I'm not taking too much away from Gordon. I think Gordon's in a different league. Guys like Gordon, Earnhardt, and I'd say even Pearson, and of course you could talk about Petty with the records. They're in a different league. Um, but Kyle Larson's an amazingly talented driver, but I don't think he's someone who's going to rattle off 10 wins a year. Not with a new car, not in this era. Um, so, that's kind of my piece there. But yes, McDowell supremacy. I love seeing my boy McDowell do well. Let's get over 200 likes, by the way. We only have 24 more to go. But looking at the end of the top 10, we have Bubba Wallace. Uh, real quick, I'll get that super chat before we go into it about Bubba Wallace. Big Blue Attack, thank you for the $10. Says, hope for a speedy recovery for Joseph Newgarden. He collapsed after his crash here in Iowa. Damn, I hope he's doing all right. I didn't see it, but I really hope he's doing all right. That sounds scary. Um, but kind of getting back to Pocono here, Bubba Wallace with a top 10. I said last week, Bubba Wallace got a third place finish. I'm like, you need to replicate that. Show me you can do it again. I'm not going to get hyped up over one finish. I've done that with Bubba Wallace before. But seeing the fact, oh, good, Newgarden is up on the board. Awesome. But seeing that Bubba ran in the top five for much of the day, had top five speed, and got top 10. Strategy stuff didn't work out, but the fact the team was going for it with strategy was good to see. The team looked alive. It looked racy, which is again something that this team has not done very much um, this season. And kind of looking a bit, at the last couple races here. I want to look. Last week he finished third, but before that, I'm looking through and Where did he finish the week for that? 14th. Okay. So you got 14th, 3rd, and 10th. 3 weeks in a row. Not setting the world on fire, but it's showing a trend that this team is finally starting to put races, beginning, middle, and end of races together. And that's what they need to do. This team needs to just start putting races together. It feels like they started doing that at the end of last year, and then the start of this year was a complete mess. By the way, 10 likes away from 200. Let's get to 200 likes. Oh baby, thank you for another five. I love how it sounds. I'm like, oh baby. But thank you for another $5 super chat. It says if Davey Allison didn't die, would Dale have still won 7 championships? Well, he was not on track to compete in 1993, but I believe was it Ernie Irvan in the 28 at that point in 1994 competed for a championship. I'm gonna make 100% sure on that one. Um, but I would say that 94 might have been a question. I think that would have been the big question there. I want to double check on that. I know the chat's probably doing it. I don't have the screen up at the moment. Uh, so yes, Ernie Irvan was in the 28 that year, like you guys are saying. Um, I don't know. Maybe he would. Maybe he wouldn't. That's a very good question. Let's see what else we got. Hamlin the Hack from Daniel Miley. Would RCR kick Reddick out of the 8 to give Ty Dillon a ride next year? Ty Dillon's kind of shown that he doesn't want to get handed stuff, I guess a lot of people would say. So I don't know for sure if he would take that up at that point. Team Penske fan says this weekend absolutely sucked for me as a Penske and Ferrari fan. One positive is going to Indy next week. Yeah, that's definitely a positive if you're a Penske fan. Um, Zachary slash Dale Jr. fan, why is Bowman so slow compared to the others? I mean, Bowman wasn't the lowest finishing Hendrick car today. That actually, once again, was William Byron, I believe. So I don't see I don't see where today it was that he was that much off, but I just don't think that it's that great. I don't think he's been that team has been that great really for much of the season. I think it's just that they've fallen off. Maybe something's missing. I don't know what exactly it is. I see Darian and Danny in the chat. Um, yeah, that's right. Darian's actually we're celebrating Darian's birthday as well as my brother's birthday, which is actually today. Darian's is 26th, but my brother's in town, so we're celebrating everyone's birthday. And then I see Danny in the chat too. 3 wins after Pocono and not many other top tens, with one of them also being Spring Richmond. Why does this sound like from last year? Yeah. Seemed packed at Pocono. The aerial shots didn't do any favors, um, but it looked like there was a lot more than previous years. It really, really shows on an attendance scale why having one race at a track per year is a better move. It just looks better overall. Uh, let's see. A lot of happy birthdays for Darian. Denny, a championship favorite. We've seen it before. Yeah, I don't think that he'll win this year. He's not at the moment. They got to change a lot. And 6 or 5 races before the playoffs, I don't think they're going to show enough to change it in that time. By the way, thank you. We have been really flirting around that 350, 360, 370 range. So really cool to see that. All you guys liking this 3 weeks in a row. Still way better than Texas. I thought it was a good race today. I did not think this was Texas caliber by any means. They sold out the 100 level. Good to know. Good to know. Also, I think that this is the second time. My God, the Iceberg Fly is here. I think this is the second time Hamlin has spun and won at Pocono. It is. It is. Very impressive again by Denny Hamlin so far. Yeah, the fly is all over the place. Of course, it's wanting to go right towards the camera the whole time. Um, let's see. Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's Pocono. Pocono's put on a good race today. I don't see why people are really getting too upset. Yes, the fly followed me from Illinois. That is true. Let's see what else we got. Isaac Gonzalez says, I think that Jones boy can win Michigan. He showed some good speed today. He showed good speed at Fontana, which is the sister track of Michigan. Do you think next week is going to be good? I don't know too much yet. I want to see how the next gen does in practice and see how it looks overall, what the drivers say about it first. But it's a very good question. Um, we very well could see a finish like last year without the craziness with the curbs, because I think they're taking those out. We very well could see a finish like Coda. We could very well see a Sonoma type of race. Um, I'll be honest, I'm not as excited about Indy as I am for Pocono, which is surprising to me. Thank you, Brock Culpepper, for the 199. Very nice last name. I say this as a Minnesota Vikings fan. Blaney is the best Penske driver, even without a win. I agree personally, consistency wise. What is my real name? Jarrett. Jaret. Not Jared. Jarrett. I'll even put it in the chat for you. Um, my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff is in the comments or in the description. If not, it's in the description of my channel. Thoughts on Ty Gibbs' future? I think it's a bright one. I think that battle that Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson had proved a lot to me about both of those drivers. Both those drivers were, just very mature in that finish. And if they can race like that week in and week out, not just make it like isolated incidents, I think, if they can prove that they can do that every week, I think they're cup ready. I think that shows that type of maturity, that type of wherewithal, and that type of really just great mental racing. Because I think it was, very much a mental game between the two of them. I think that shows cup maturity. And I think that each of them with the right ride could compete for wins at different points next year. Um, so that's my thoughts there. Another thing that we could talk about really quick is what I did my video on, which, by the way, if you haven't seen my video, it's just a real quick recap on all this. But it has been confirmed through pictures that Auto Club is being torn down and turned into a short track. Thank you, J-Rod. I love that no matter what I wear, you like my shirt. But yes, Auto Club is being turned into a short track. You were seeing stands being taken down. You were seeing, the development plans being pushed out there more news about it. So I'm going to ask you, I'll give you three options with this one. Indifferent being the other one. And that's probably the last question I ask before I get off here. Do you like the idea of Auto Club being a short track? So let me get this all put up, and we'll see what you guys think. Do you like the idea of Auto Club being, I put benign for some reason, being a short track? I see a lot of no's in the chat already. I personally like it. My reasoning is that the Auto Club Speedway being repaved is not probably going to show the best racing overall to start with, and we're going to see basically what we've seen with the Michigan repave in a lot of ways. Whereas with the short track, we might be able to see good racing from the start and then have that extend over time. I could be proven wrong, but we want more short tracks. We've all said we want more short tracks. NASCAR delivers with the short track, and everyone hates it. You know, it's a no-win for them. They either get bad racing with a repave that takes 10 years to wear in, or they go with the short track and have everyone complain because a nearly 30-year-old surface put on a great race, which shouldn't be a surprise. It's like, I think it's what made Atlanta sting more. So, I see a lot of people. I want to see. We're looking very even. 22% of you are indifferent, and 39 apiece for yes and no, which is a big change from what I've seen recently. And a lot of times recently, I've seen the no uh, really go out ahead out of these three options. I see Mark saying it needs to be 5/8, not a quarter mile. I think that might just be the fact that they have a confined space to use, because a lot of that old track grounds is going to be turned into warehouses. Um, hey, look, we got a moron in the chat. Oh, thank you, Spencer. Um, So I mean, right now what I'm seeing is 41% of you say you like this idea, 37% of you don't like it, and 22% of you are indifferent. What about Chicagoland Speedway being Amazon? That was proven wrong. Uh, I know a few people that are around that area. Oh, hey Noah. Good to see you. Follow Noah Lewis if you haven't already. Dude puts up awesome stuff from the track, but just about every week, and deserves a huge following for it. As for the Chicagoland Speedway, I know for a fact that's not being torn down. I know people around there. You know, people have people in Joliet. That plan got struck down. I know that the local government wants races back, and I know that from going past there, it is very well taken care of and very well guarded. Hey, Peter. Peter's same way, man. Puts a lot of great stuff up from the track. Um, did I move from Illinois? Yes, I'm in Tennessee now, and I probably will never live in Illinois again if I can help it. Never want to live in Illinois. Iowa deserving a cup date? I don't know, man. I don't know about Iowa. That's tough for me to say just because yes, they can draw in a big crowd with what they've done with IndyCar, and I think it should be reevaluated. But at the same time, you have a lot of tracks around there that might saturate the market. And of course, it wouldn't be a stream after a race without a fire truck or ambulance or police car having a siren run right past the house. I'm gonna keep some. Yep, just listen. There it goes. There it goes. I don't know if my mic is that good. There we go. Um, so I'm gonna answer just a few more questions. Any super chats roll, and I'll answer them. Spin the UFO for the paramedics, sure. Um, but let's get last few here. I love the fact that we have so many of you guys that are just really, really in on doing this each week. I'm gonna try and even do it when I'm at the track, as long as not breaking any rules by doing it. But it sounds like I'm in Illinois. Yeah, I can see how it would. Mark says Iowa needs a truck and Xfinity race before an Indy race doubleheader. I mean, they did pretty well with the doubleheader this past weekend. I mean, the crowd was pretty good to see. I'm going to be very interested in seeing what the ratings look like. Um, Thoughts on the new Vikings coaching staff? Can't be any worse than Zimmer was at the end. Um, the next gen, I think yes, the next gen is delivered. 21 races in, I would say that it has. We're gonna close up the poll here. We got over 200 votes. 40% of you saying that you like the idea of an auto club short track, to 36% no, 23% indifferent. I think the yes is only gonna grow over time. I don't think that this is going to be something that's going to be a hated change as the years go on. Daniel says the next gen is save tracks. I agree. I think a lot of tracks that we were really, thinking were kind of written off have been shown to have new life. Look at Dover, for instance. Jeff Norton, why so many spins today? I think it's a mix between a difficult track, difficult car to drive, hot track today. I think all of that mixed together with the way that this car has been overall, I think it's just been a recipe for craziness. All right, I'm going to look for one more, and then we're going to head on out. I want to make sure that we're all good before we head out. Except Texas, nothing can save them. Yeah, that was disappointing to see, I'll be honest. Um, and let me check really quick, see if anyone else is streaming. We can stream raid them if you want. I don't know if Brock is yet, but if he is, um, so I don't see him streaming. Oh, guess no one else is streaming today. Um, let's get one more question and then head on out. Um, so leave me a good one. I want to end on a really fun note. Do a collab with Real Rabbin. Real Rabbin's been on our podcast before, but I think at some point we'll get Radman back on the show. Dude's pretty fun, like to talk to. Um, oh, okay. Brock's having audio issues. Damn, that sucks. Brock's an awesome dude. Good channel too. Um, Hero Hope, thank you for the Hero Hope 5. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Chase, I'm assuming to say, has a 100-point lead, championship favorite. Consistency wise, yeah, I think he's really got it there. Okay, we'll end on this one, Peter. Pineapple on pizza. No, no. That is a definite no for me. Uh, Sorry, I draw a line there. So, but real fun eliminated line rule. I agree there. But overall, I thought it was a pretty fun race. Thought it was a pretty good race overall. And I had a lot of fun watching that one. I'm hoping the Indy Road Course is pretty good and not as much of a shit show at the end as last year's was. Um, all right, I gotta go get dinner and celebrate my brother's birthday and Darian's too. See Darian in the chat. Wish Darian a happy birthday, everybody. Um, and let's have some fun next week. I'll see you guys next week. Vote on the poll. Watch NASCAR Weekly Podcast on Darian's channel on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Should be a pretty fun show. All right, guys. Later.